Ang South Long Haul natin has a zero disbursement rate up to this very point. At ito rin yung malaking budget na sinet aside natin. Ano pong balak natin dito? I'd like an answer to this because I delivered my privilege speech. I don't know if DOTr is aware of it, na walang nangyayari 5 years na. Ano po bang balak ng DOTr dito? And yet we set aside a big amount of funding again for this.
Secretary.
Yusek Chavez po will answer the question.
Madam Chair,
May we request everyone to observe silence? Thank you very much. Yusek.
Madam Chair, context. Number one, the South Long Haul is Calamba to Daraga Albay. That's about 368 kilometers. The government has a existing contract with China Railway Design Corporation for a project management consultancy or PMC in the amount of 14 billion. But there's no contract and loan approved or granted to the Philippine government from the China. The China Railway Design Corporation is a Chinese funded project, and China and the construction previously awarded by the previous administration sometime in February 2022 in the amount of 142 billion, but there was no loan approved, granted by the China Exim Bank, and therefore there is no civil works contract. Number two, the Office of the Secretary has given us a guidance on the way forward. It has been notified. We have notified the other government agencies because DOTr is only an implementing agency. Any change in the character of the loan, continue or otherwise, have to be approved by the NEDA. And the lead here is not only NEDA, but the Department of Finance. And therefore, after a year and 2 months, even before this committee hearing, the secretary has advised the team to meet with the China Exim Bank and to the Chinese embassy to ask them, really, do you really want to give us a loan of 142 billion? Otherwise, without 142 billion, there is no civil works contract. There is a project management consultancy, 14 billion. We've spent almost 2 billion already, but there is no civil works contract. So that's the status. The way forward is that this administration, DOTr in particular, is doing its best to talk with the NEDA and the Department of Finance, because in this case, Department of Finance is the one that applied for the loan, negotiated for the loan, signed for the loan. As you are aware, Madam Chair, the previous Secretary of Finance withdrew the contract, the application for loan, because there was inaction by the Chinese Exim Bank, inaction. And immediately after the Marcos administration came in, Secretary Bautista repeatedly informed the Secretary of Finance and the NEDA and the other cabinet members, informing them on the way forward. We requested that the Department of Finance make another representation to the China Exim Bank, and it did. At one point, about 3 or 4 months ago, Yusek TJ and I and the former Undersecretary of Finance of DOF met with the Chinese embassy, the economic counselor, and informed them what's your definitive plan on the South Long Haul, and we were given no clear direction on this, and there is the status. Therefore, finally, our position is that by the end of December, the Department of Transportation will have to go back to NEDA to ask for a guidance whether to still a request for funding from the China Exim Bank or to terminate the private management consultancy, and also to withdraw the loan reapplication for the China Exim Bank. That's the status po.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But for the meantime, anong timetable natin? We set aside 3.1 billion dito. Kung wala tayong gagawin, sayang naman yung pera kung up in the air tayo dito.
Again, the context is, kailangan ba natin ang South Long Haul? Yes, kailangan natin ang South Long Haul. In all government projects, especially in the railway projects, the role of the land acquisition is always with the government. And therefore, ang direksyon ng DOTr po ay ituloy ang proyektong ito pending kung sino man ang magiging partner
Yes,
dito.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yes, of course, kailangan ituloy. Pero gaano kayo katagal na maghihintay? Until when will we wait for this? Because 5 taon na po ito. Ano po ang timetable na tinitignan natin para alam din po namin dito sa committee kung ibibigay namin yung kailangan ninyo? Kasi kung di rin naman pending din naman, sayang ang pera.
My office recommended to the secretary to courses of actions in this case. If we cannot get a definitive reply from the foreign funding, we need to terminate the project management consultancy so that we can proceed with another options. The other option is that we can still negotiate DOF together with NEDA, and the entire economic team may still decide to proceed this with another foreign funding institutions, or we go with the PPP modality. PPP, we have defined it with the Office of the Secretary. We may go to JICA, we may go to Asian Development Bank, we may go to foreign partners for the electromechanical, and the rolling stock government will still be in charge of the right of way, the civil works with a private contractor. That's the way forward po.
Madam Chair, I will request that before plenary may sagot tayong malinaw para lang makasubmit sila at sana madali ng DOTR ang pagdesisyon nito.